Hey there, welcome to the channel. This is Bronx Brothers Motorcycles and my name is Richie. Today I'm getting the bike ready for an epic ride through the Appalachian Mountains. We're talking twisties, elevation, and pure throttle therapy, hitting the legendary Back of the Dragon and tackling a portion of the Mid-Atlantic BDR. If you're into adventure, scenery, and real road stories, you're in the right place. Let's get this beast ready for the journey. The fuel pump that I have to change, this thing here, is located under the tank right here. The problem that I have right now is that this whole section right here is full of fuel. Try as I might to get a bunch of it to the other side, it's not happening. So I have to drain this, and I don't know if I have a container at the moment big enough to hold all of that fuel, but I'm gonna give it a shot and see. I have a 1 gallon tank is what I have, and in the shed, which I'm not going in there tonight, it's very dark, and anyway, there's a big mess over there. I have I think a 2 gallon, so it might do it because it's only this side. If you look at the whole tank, see, a lot of people look at the tank on this motorcycle and they don't realize that it comes down, and that helps the center of gravity. So this is all the fuel tank. It's quite large. I think it holds 6 gallons. So if I could get the fuel to about right there, I'll be good. So it's 4 bolts and out she comes. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I have the first piece off. I'm going to go to work and put the new pump on. I think you can see the little bit of junk in there. See it at the bottom? So this is one filter here. And then there's another little filter in here that I'm going to get out here in a second. So here's the other filter. And these are, it's my understanding, the culprit of why these fuel pumps go bad. So we're going to change the filters, and we're going to change the fuel pump, put a new fuel pump in there. Now, they don't look terrible, but I'm taking a long trip. It's a 4-day trip, and I don't want any issues. I don't want any surprises, and this is the more likely reason for a breakdown on this bike at this age. So this bike does come with a few other inherent problems, but they are at much higher mileage. So for right now, this is, and it's even early to do this, but anybody that knows me knows that I'm gonna go on the safe side rather than wait for a problem or get close to the mileage that it calls for. It's at 15,000 miles that they recommend changing these out, because that's about the mileage that it starts to go out. This bike is 5,000 miles away from that. So anyhow, so that's the process. Now it's just a matter of putting new parts in, putting everything back together. And again, I'm not showing you a step-by-step because there are other videos that are better than this, and I will put them at the bottom of this video so that you can go to their website and check. There's guys that work exclusively on KTMs, and they have this down pat. They have the better videos of how to do this, more knowledge than myself. I am mechanically inclined, but I am not a KTM expert. So you'll get the best information on a KTM from those guys. Okay, so I finished. What did I have to say? I was worried that these two wires would touch because it's a ground and a positive. It's a negative and a positive. But there's a piece of plastic right here that divides them. So that was my first concern. I was like, what? Why would those two wires be so close to each other? But basically think of it as a wall. There's a wall between both these wires. There is no way they're gonna touch. The other thing is this clip on this side didn't want to clip in, and I hear a lot of guys have put zip ties just to ensure, because for home repair there seems to be the failure where there's a lot of pressure in here and this will pop off, this head. But if the clips are properly mounted, it's not gonna give you any trouble. So what I did to fix it was I loosened that one, and magically that one popped in, and then I just popped that one back down, and with the channel locks I gave it a little extra pinch right there. It's pretty simple. The one thing is there's 3 different sizes of small O-rings. One of these, the different size, the bigger one goes on the top filter. The 2 smaller O-rings goes on this fuel rail right here. So these 2 are the same size. There's an O-ring here and there, and then the one for the filter on top is a little bit bigger. That is pretty much it. Everything else went back pretty simple. It's just a matter of taking apart and putting back just how you found it. So it's not rocket science. Just about anybody can do it with a little bit of mechanical knowledge. One of the things that I'm not happy with is it did not bring these 2 O-rings. It brought everything in here, all the O-rings, the filters, everything for this, the pump. So this is what's left over once you do the change out. I'm not sure if you can see that, but these are the parts that I changed, and the O-rings that are thrown around there somewhere. A few little O-rings, real small ones like that size. Oh, this one I think has the O-ring still inside. You can see that. But the fuel filters were not in terrible condition, because some guys have found them like really bad. I'm not sure if the guy that had this bike before me changed it out. Not the guy I bought it from, because I asked him and he told me he didn't know, and that's why I went ahead and did it. Now, is this a factory unit? It looks like one, because this brand here is the go-to replacement. So that's what everybody says to go with, this brand here. So anyway, now all I have to do is put it back, but for tonight I am done. I'm gonna leave it just like that. I know that it's complete, so tomorrow we'll proceed with that. I can then put the tank back on, and then I have 3 days to do that front tire, which I should be able to do. Take it off, take the tire off. For those of you that don't know, I do that myself. I don't send it out. I'll be installing the tire. That's the tire right there I'm going to change out. That's the new one. So I'm not liking this one too much, not very convincing. And another feature that I added was I added a headlight protector, headlight guard, because riding off-road there are cases where somebody will kick up a rock and it'll damage your headlight. Now, I am most likely going to be doing this ride by myself, but I was thinking about it. Who's to say some guys, you know, come along and I'm like, hey, let's ride together, or vice versa, you know, they say come ride with us, and it's always better in a group. So that's pretty much it. So I'm getting there. Talk about this feature here. I put a loom on the Chiggy. There was 3 wires coming down here. I didn't like the way they looked. This looks a lot cleaner, so I put that wire loom. I put this GoPro mount right here. I can hook up a camera right here. I can mount the camera right there. What else? That's pretty much it. That's ready to go. So all I have to do is put the tank back and start putting parts back on it, and then the front wheel. I may have another 1 or 2 tricks up my sleeve, but we'll wait and see on that. Oh, one other thing. So the camera, when I was looking at the front view, the camera was upside down, and I watched a video and the guy says, you see these arrows here? So those arrows, not sure if you can see them or not, but those little arrows have to be on top, so that camera spins freely. Not freely, takes a little effort, but you can spin it. It's in place now. It's not going to spin any kind of way, and if it does, you just put it back. It does have a little Titan screw right there, which I haven't messed with. So it's coming along. I have 3 days before we depart. So okay, give you a little update on tonight's work. First, so these are the calipers here. This is a Harley Davidson trick. Some Royal Crown bags. Anybody of yours that likes Royal Crown, tell them to give you a few bags. So that keeps them out of the way, as well as avoids getting them beat up. So you hang them up wherever you can on whatever bike. This works for any bike. So I will say the pinch bolts on these things here were very loose. I mean, I was amazed at how loose they were. And this has 2 pinch bolts. I'm used to 1. So my bad. I tried to get it out. I was baffled. I'm like, why doesn't it come out? So it took, and I watched a couple videos and nobody said it was 2 of them. And I kind of stuck my hand under there and felt around, and I felt another one. So there's 2 on each side, and then it slides out somewhat easy. So that's the trick with that. What else have I done? I put the tank back on. The tank is back on. I put a decal here, a label, so that if I sell the bike at some point, you guys know how I am. I buy and I sell. I use a bike for a while. I don't put a whole lot of miles on them because I have so many bikes. As if it's your first time here, I have a few bikes. So I don't put as many miles as other people do on their bikes because I'm constantly riding different bikes. Anyhow, for myself or whoever owns this bike later on will know that the fuel pump was changed at the 11,000 miles, and I put 725. It's a week away. What's the difference? A few days. I did that. What else did I do? I connected all the hoses on the fuel tank, the little plug here, the plugs underneath for the fuel pump. Everything's hooked up. What else have I done? Oh, I put this windscreen on here. This is a Touratech windscreen, and it looks a little funky right now, but it has that blue plastic on it. And for, I don't know, about 5 minutes, I couldn't figure out how to get that plastic off. I thought it was part of it. I'm like, man, this must be a piece of junk. So it has a hazy, ugly, I was like, that can't be. So I kept trying and trying, and I was able to pull it off. So that'll be coming off, leaving it on there for now. I've hooked up a rock guard protector for the headlight I don't want to put it on yet because I want to clean this really well before I do, so that everything is nice and clean before I put that headlight protector there. Get all the bugs off, all the bug splatter. What else have I done? I think that's it for today. You know, because of my job and having a family, I work on it 45 minutes, an hour, and then I go and I do something else, and then I come back to it. And just having a house in the summertime keeps me busy with the swimming pool and all the stuff that homeowners have to do. So, and work as well. And then I rest because I'm old, and then I work again. It is almost 11:30 right now at night, and tomorrow I have a full day. But I have Friday, Saturday, and we leave Sunday. So I now have 2 days left, and what I have to do is put that tire on that rim, and then just put everything back together, give the bike a wash if I have time. If I don't, well, I won't wash it, but I sure am gonna try because I need to pack. And this trip is a little bit different. I'm not used to packing for dual purpose. I'm gonna be doing some off-road as well as some on-road. So we're going to back of the Dragon, so that'll be road riding, and then I have a full day planned of off-road. So I have to take gear for 2 different types of riding, as well as cool weather gear, because up in the mountains, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, it does get cool at night. I think it drops as low as 60, 65. We're having 100-degree days here, as a matter of fact, in this garage. And today is cooler. Today it was only like 95 degrees or some crazy thing like that. It's 86 in here right now. I don't know what that is in Celsius for you Europeans, but 86 is very hot. 100 is like, whoo. So we've been close to 100. With the heat index, we've been over 100. It's been 107 heat index this week. So that's where I'm at. The bike is coming together. I have but one more thing to do, major task, and then after that it's just put everything back together. So one of the things I am gonna do is, I know this fender is cool and all, I'm gonna leave it, but I'm also gonna put that fender back on because we're supposed to have a lot of rain. It's supposed to rain every day where we're going, so that's gonna help a lot, because if not, that's gonna be a lot of spray. So that putting that fender on with that beak is kind of like what BMW does with their bikes. And I don't have the GS here any longer, I sold it, but the GS basically has a, I call that a hugger fender, and then it has this fender which catches the bigger pieces of mud and whatever. So cameras are set up. If you haven't seen that, I have that one there. Wires are nicely tucked away. I have that one there. You can barely see the wire. Goes in there and hides. So the bike is coming together. I started the bike up today. I think I have a bit of bad news, but I'm not giving up yet. I think my Chiggy is not going to give me RPM. So we'll see what happens. And a few other things that it does, the telemetry of the bike. So I was hoping to have that. I bought the part, but it wasn't for this bike, so it was for 2019 and up. So I kind of, you know, shot the dice on that one. But this windscreen is taller, and I'm gonna be on the highway for about 3.5–4 hours. It depends. Going, it's about 3.5 hours. Coming back, it'll be substantially more hours than that on the highway. So this is gonna help me out a whole lot. So I have it locked in place. That's as tall as it goes, but you'll see it when I bring it down. So that'll be highway riding right there, which should give me some comfort. So that whole job right there, mounting the tire, removing the tire, mounting it, took me probably 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Not very difficult at all. Not gonna balance it. I've seen and read various reports, and I mean, I'm not flying on this bike. I'm doing 80. It's motorcycles for the most part, not like a car tire. You really don't need to balance them, but you can. And I have felt tires that needed to be balanced, and more specifically, my Honda Goldwing had a shake at about 80, 85, and I had the tires balanced, and it smoothed it out dramatically. So I'm gonna ride it like that and see what happens. I do have a tire balancer. Well, I will tell you that the torque specs on this wheel is scary. It seems too loose to me. It is 23 Newton meters or whatever. Let me see. I'll tell you right now, it is 22 Newton meters or 16 foot-pounds, depends what part of the world you're in. And the axle bolt is 72 foot-pounds. I don't know what that is in Newton meters, but it's not what I'm used to. You know, on Harleys we bolt that sucker down, especially the pinch bolts. Oh my goodness, it's like I just started to tighten them and that was it. It was done. So it's something I guess I don't know, I gotta trust it. Now I will say, when I took it off, I can almost spin it with my hand. It was like so loose. I don't trust that to be that. I don't know, maybe I should put some Loctite on it, some blue Loctite. I don't know, scary. Come on, baby. Okay, it's a little bit over, but I'm gonna leave it like that. Now I'm gonna do the pinch bolts on this side. I already did the ones on that side. That's it. It says that's it. That's impossible. Yeah, I'm gonna go a little tighter. I don't trust it. Hopefully I don't regret to not putting Loctite on it. There's a guy I follow, and I'll be linking his video for tank removal and all that stuff, but that guy also stated how little, and he's like, stick to it, you know, don't over tighten them. I don't know, man. Alright riders, that's a wrap for today's install. Up next, I'm hooking up my helmet with a fresh intercom system and slapping on some custom decals to go along with my KTM motif. Now be sure and watch the video, because what I'm doing you can copy to whatever color your bike is. So be sure and don't miss that one. It's gonna be fire. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that button and ride with us. And hey, if this video helped you out or just kept you company in the garage, give it a like. It really helps the channel out more than you know. I really appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out with me. You guys are the real ones. You all take care. Watch out with the crazy people on the roads, and I will catch you on the next one. Adios.